Hey guys, Thrasher here, and I think the Rising Rush mechanic needs to change. Let's talk about it right now. Okay, first things first, a lot of people are going to say all top tier players hate the Rising Rush mechanic. I'm not going to say top tier because that's not a very good way of explaining who likes it and who doesn't. What I will say is any player that has legitimately got to battle rank 50, 99 out of 100 times, they hate the Rising Rush mechanic. Here's why. 1, it's way too RNG based. 2, if you get it off, it's pretty much a guaranteed kill. 3, it sets up the meta of the game. So every single match, the point of the match is to get to your Rising Rush as quickly as humanly possible, and there are no drawbacks to it whatsoever. A lot of people want it completely removed from the game. I've seen a lot of the top players and other YouTubers that are running the hashtag no Rising Rush. I personally don't think it needs to be removed from the game, and I don't think it can be removed simply because there are so many different characters and so many different other mechanics that are built around the Rising Rush that the game itself would sort of crumble if you got rid of the Rising Rush mechanic completely. What I do think they need to do is nerf it and change the way it works a little bit. So there are a few different things they can do to make it slightly less RNG based. They can completely remove the guessing system. That in itself will remove a lot of the problems. But another thing I think they need to do is make it less powerful. There are no true drawbacks to using Rising Rush right now. One of the things I think they should do is add a debuff after you use Rising Rush. So essentially after you use Rising Rush, it does its damage. Your characters, all of your characters, not just the one that uses Rising Rush, get a 90% key recovery reduction and a 90% card draw rate reduction, and we'll probably say for 10 timer counts, maybe 15. That's something you'd have to test for. But essentially the idea is that after you use your Rising Rush, your characters are exhausted. They can't fight at the normal pace they would normally fight at, or even with the same amount of power that they would normally fight at. So for a very short period of time, the other player can beat up on you. So what you have to do at that point is figure out when is it worth it to use Rising Rush. It's more of a strategic use rather than just try to use Rising Rush as quickly as you can so you can get a second Rising Rush, possibly even a third. And now rather than it being some extremely overpowered mechanic that you set your whole match around, it's now a balanced mechanic that you have to factor into your fight. You don't want to use it necessarily right in the middle of a match just to try and take a character out, because over the course of 15 timer counts where you can't really use a lot of arts cards, you could lose all of your characters. Now, it may be worth it if you're fighting an opponent where 2 of the characters you can beat no problem, and the third one is a problem character. So in the middle of the match, you have the opportunity to Rising Rush that problem character, might be worth it. Now we have real legitimate strategy around the mechanic rather than just trying to use it as many times as possible. And that's really all I have for this video. I just want to draw attention to the fact that the mechanic needs to change. Let me know the ways you think the mechanic needs to change down below, what your ideas are, and we'll all talk about it. And if you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.